You're listening to The Burning Truth. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dude and dudettes. I'm your host, Matt Burns, and as always, I have got the broadcast journalist, John Bloor.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Just as we've been doing recently, well, most recently, just so everybody knows, in case you want to know why both of us don't sound at the same level, or there's a bit of distortion on off one of us, it is possibly because we're not in the same room together.
Due to the wonders of modern technology, we are able to do this broadcast from quite a long way apart. So
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
you know,
I think it's worth possibly a little bit of slight level disparity.
a little bit. And as a certain YouTuber does actually state, through the power of the internet. Just a quote him, please don't sue me. But it's more of a paying homage to him in regards to it. But we have got plenty to talk about this week because, lo and behold, we've actually got to talk some results. Well, not actually.
Indeed, we do.
Well, not the actual results as in like the pay-per-views, as in what we'd already done the predictions for. We're just going to be talking about the actual results of the predictions.
Yes, as in, were they as terrible as I thought they would be last week? And I think, spoiler alert, no, not quite as terrible.
They weren't.
Right then, well, as we've got plenty to be getting through tonight, shall we crack on with these?
Well, let me just state, congratulations on beating me on NXT.
You're welcome, and I accept the victory graciously because NXT is the WWE brand that I watch the most frequently, so I kind of hoped I'd get it right, you know?
However, you didn't do too badly on the Royal Rumble either.
Which is always reassuring, but like I say, as that was a lot more, shall we just say, educated guesswork rather than based on what I'd actually seen, I'll take that.
Well, to be honest with you, take into account that my Rumble guess, as I know a lot of people were saying it's either going to be Drew or Seth. Would you like to know? Would you like to know how I actually came up between the two? How I decided it?
Of course I would. So just for next time reasons, I'd love to know how people, I'd love to know the method behind the way people do things.
All I'll say to you
fire
is
away.
Coin flip.
It's what?
It was done on a coin flip.
Scientific, as always. Fantastic. Good to know.
And it managed to help me. No idea how.
Well, there you go. It's one of them things. You just take it, don't you?
Pretty much. But we've got plenty to talk about this week with some of the oncoming topics. Now, okay, I know on our social media we haven't been able to get out as many posts on the actual social media because I know, just so everybody knows, John Bloor isn't actually on Facebook directly.
Nope.
He is actually
Sorry to disappoint anyone out there who may wish to find me, but I am not.
However, if they do want to actually send a message to him on Facebook, you can send it to either myself, Matt Burns, or you can either send it to the Burning Truth page, which I'm pretty sure if you've got any messages, I'm pretty sure I can pass them over to John.
I'm sure that I will get them in due course, absolutely. I am, however, available on other forms of social media.
Correct.
Just, you might have to search for me.
Yeah, a bit of Twitter, a bit of Instagram, have a bit of a look. You'll find him.
Indeed, yeah.
Anyway, with that already just mentioned, discussed, anyway, some of the topics that we've got to discuss, I can honestly say myself, I originally considered possibly putting them on, putting the big news, on the social media and everything, but a lot of people are already doing that. I felt as though if I put a post out, I probably would have, on some of the topics, ranted on it straight away. And some of it...
yeah.
And other parts of it, not so much, but I felt as though I wanted to save it for the Burning Truth broadcast, so we can actually have a discussion about it.
Rather than just a rant, yeah, it makes sense when you think about it like that.
Correct, which as everybody may or may not know from myself, I've always stated if anybody wants to have a conversation with myself, and now with John as well, you've also got the fact that you can actually send messages to us. You've also got direct message from the Burning Truth website with the contact page and everything. Just messages. We will bring up the topics on. But here's the funny thing. Here's the best thing. Since John's come back, I can also say it's great to be able to have a conversation with somebody.
I can sympathise. Just basically sitting in a room talking to yourself is all well and good, but it's never going to be as interesting as actually having someone to bounce your thoughts off, is it?
That is true, but isn't talking to yourself also the first sign of madness?
So I've been repeatedly told. It's never done me any harm yet. Touch wood. Vicar, mind the cup of tea. 3 sugars. Bam!
But anyway, let's get down to business, which is a topic that we need to discuss is to deal with Dean Ambrose, and I believe Hideo Itami aren't renewing their WWE contracts.
Yes, or rather, no, they're not. Which is something that I find not as baffling as a lot of the internet, I've got to confess. It's sad. Yes, it's tragic. Yes, we'd really, really like it if both guys stuck around and got their money's worth, were booked to their full potential, etc. But from my point of view, they don't feel they're getting their money's worth out of their contract. They're not being booked in a way that they would like. They're fully aware of the current WWE system, whereby it's going to be a struggle if they're not, because they have how many hundreds of guys to try and keep happy at all times. So they decided
it's a weird
to,
topic. It's a weird topic,
yeah,
because this is a topic that a lot of people assume, and I know some other top people have brought it up. Like, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Eric Bischoff has been on record to state that it's nothing special. WWE will still carry on because of the way WWE have had to change their formatting and programming and make WWE the actual big star instead of the wrestlers themselves. And
possibly.
A lot of people can turn around and state, well, that's a bit selfish of them. At the same time, it can be considered that, yes, because anybody's technically interchangeable. However,
that's unfortunately the way it is. But that's, and if they feel slighted by that and they feel like that they want to try and, maybe have a couple of years out of the massive spotlight and go try their luck somewhere else.
Go try to look out somewhere else, possibly build a bigger name, and who knows, could be making even better on their on their next run potentially. But here's the thing, the WWE, and this is a good point that Bischoff made in that argument. Now, it's hard for me to say this because with myself being basically I'm actually a future promoter. Well, I am actually now an official promoter, but we'll be discussing that a bit more on that topic a bit later.
A little bit later on, But for now, just using your promoter's head when you say this.
And this is the thing, from my own perspective, it's we are for on the picture scene and everything, we're having to make the wrestlers the top stars, building up their name, building up the brand and everything. Where with WWE, they've made their brand the top star, and the wrestler secondary. A lot of people can turn around and state, yes, that's bad because nobody is the top star anymore, and anybody's interchangeable. Anybody can be replaced at any time, which can make it not as much of a working environment. I agree with
that's true, but I can understand where they're coming from with that.
Which is something I don't exactly agree with WWE on. Me personally, I can understand having. You've always got to make the next star. You've always got to put a bit of focus on it. You've always got to be ready for the next star, and that's something you've probably heard me state on many occasions.
Absolutely.
You've always got to be looking for the next wrestler, the next big thing, or the next current thing. And you've always.
And I think that's something that WWE do very, very well.
They do it, but at the same time, just take into account, as much as everybody turn around and say, well, there's that problem with WWE, nobody feels as, as special, no one feels as, they're getting anywhere, not as much as a push, because WWE is the main star. Look at it this way, on the flip side, everybody can turn around and can harass WWE for it, but take into account what has recently happened with the WWE Universal Championship before Brock regained it. They had a credible champion. They actually had Roman Reigns have the title.
Yep.
And unfortunately, when they've got him get the title, he is no longer able to defend it. Due to having to battle.
Circumstances entirely out of their control.
Out of their control, out of his control, he is now, he's technically having to fight leukemia. Okay, at the same time, I know a lot of people are going to say, yes, he is battling leukemia, but he's also been starring in an action film lately. Yes, that is true, which might be meaning that he is due to return soon. But at that moment in time, he still had to go out at that moment, and any momentum that was there is now flushed gone. Now, here's the thing. Yeah. Here's the thing. In that scenario, did the machine stop?
Not even for a second.
It kept running, which
because
any business person, you've got to keep the ball rolling, and they managed to do it without a stop, which in their eyes is probably saving them more money. But it's always that argument. It's always going to be that argument.
I think if and let's bear in mind, this is entirely my argument. It's not the opinion of the Burning Truth as a whole, or WWE's definitely not their opinion.
It's just
It's just me putting my.
In actual fact, with what I said earlier, it's not even my own opinion. I'm not putting my opinion in it because, in my own retrospect, I can't. It's
I know what
hard
you're saying.
To say,
you can't. Yeah, but I'm just coming through to say, from the point of view of someone who isn't a booker, who doesn't have their own shows to book in, and therefore is just looking at it solely from a fan's perspective. It's sad that a fan favourite has decided to maybe see if the grass is greener elsewhere for a short period, but WWE have got the balance right. No one guy can ever be bigger than the machine, because as you said, that way, if said one guy leaves, the wheels don't fall off, someone else can be slotted into the place, and whether the majority of the fans initially agree with that or not,
true, because that
given time, most of them will come over to it, and
it does have a counter-argument in the fact that the wrestlers themselves don't feel as special because they're being second to the company, which
the thing is,
understandable why
Yeah, no, that's completely understandable. But to that, I say, I use the Becky Lynch argument.
Go on.
Don't feel like you're special? Make yourself special. Make yourself completely and utterly, what's the word?
Stand out?
Yeah, make yourself unmissable, you know?
Yeah.
If you, it's all well and good relying on the man and the machine.
Yeah.
Oh, the man. How appropriate I said that, where, bearing in mind I mentioned Becky Lynch. It's all well and good focusing on the machine and saying, well, you know what? Yeah, I need the machine to focus on me. Essentially, Dean Ambrose himself has said this in the past as well, on record. What you've got to go on record and say is, give the machine a reason to focus on you.
Yeah.
You know? You are only ever going to be a cog in the machine. Be you The Rock, be you Stone Cold Steve Austin, be you a heavyweight of the industry that took the machine and went, look, you will focus on me, I am worth it, successfully, or be you, I don't know, Simon Dean, who maybe didn't do that, took what he was given and did it to the best of his ability, but maybe didn't make as big a dent on the industry.
True.
You've basically got to do whatever they tell you to do it to the best of your ability, and give the machine a reason to keep caring, to be honest.
True, but at the same time, if the writers haven't got anything decent for you, that can actually be a counter-argument at the same time. But their counter-argument is, well, why haven't you given us something? Or they might not be inclined to take on what they want. Because it's all very different. Because we don't know how they're actually doing the plans, and it's always changing and everything. But 9 out of 10 times, Vince McMahon always has the final say.
Yeah, we also don't know, of course, whether at present, the WWE atmosphere is either, well, if you want something done, give us ideas, or whether creative are close to that at the moment, and it's a case of, no, we'll come up with the ideas, you just go out there and knock them out of the park. We don't know which way around it is. It just appears that currently, for Dean Ambrose at least, it's not the situation that he wants to find himself in.
True, but with Dean, it's weird because he's in a realm of, I think personally, and this is
again, just your opinion,
my opinion, which is, a lot of people might think he is sick of WWE. It might not be that. He might just be in a bit of a rut himself right now. May need to go into the independent scene, rejuvenate himself, and come back. And if you want a good example of that, Drew McIntyre.
Oh, absolutely couldn't agree more. Couldn't come up with a better example. There's a guy who did exactly what he needed to do. Felt that the game maybe wasn't for him in WWE at that particular time, that he didn't like where his character was going.
He got released.
Got himself a release. Carried on. Built himself a humongous head of steam and, built his enthusiasm up, built himself up to the point where he was loving what he was doing, and on top of that, the WWE management couldn't ignore him.
And knocking on his door.
Exactly. So I think that might be what will happen. I don't think we've heard the last of Dean Ambrose as a WWE wrestler.
And I think the same for Kenta. Now, a lot of people can say, well, he's been wrestling for quite some time, and that might not be the case. It's not always the case. And what is so shocking is Daniel Bryan's when you saw Hideo Itami / Kenta make, thank you for all the time that you've given me and everything, and he's making it official. You got Daniel Bryan who's responded, and a lot of people can say, not in character, this is genuinely Daniel Bryan thanking him for the many years and linking clips of when he's battled against him.
Yeah.
And
I think, honestly, that is heartfelt, that is genuine, and that just goes to show whether it's not currently clicking between creative and Hideo, that doesn't necessarily mean it won't always, because
It doesn't
his
always.
body of work is stellar, and so it's a real. I think what Daniel Bryan was basically saying is, "Yep, fair enough. You feel that you must go this way.
Good.
That's a damn shame, but fair play to you.
Keep up the good work." And this is the thing.
Exactly.
A lot of people always assume, "Oh, you've made a name on yourself on the independent. Now go in the WWE." It doesn't always mean it's going to be a success story. Not always. Because
not always.
If it doesn't work with the machine, if it's not working with the cogs, if the star alignments aren't set attuned, it can still go wrong.
The biggest indie star can misfire in WWE and not.
It can. That can actually happen.
Yeah, and not always make as much of an impact in WWE as people thought they would. For just to use a bit of an example, a personal example for me, for someone who I've always thought of on the indie scene as, like, looked at maybe some of the hype he's got and gone, really?
Yeah.
Really? I know he's good, but you think he's this good? And I think he has perhaps found his natural level in NXT, which is not the undisputed top guy, which he perhaps thinks he is, but just as a vital member of the roster, who is integral to the storyline, but he's never going to be the main guy, and that's Adam Cole.
Potentially, but never say never.
Well, indeed. But like I say, that's my point. Anything can happen. Adam Cole might suddenly find that spark and become the guy that, in his mind, I'm sure he's already convinced he is, the main event guy for NXT and then the main roster. But likewise, different. Hideo and Dean Ambrose on the independent scene may get that as well, like Drew McIntyre did, and may come back and do everything next time when they return that they feel that they didn't get a chance to this time.
Correct. Everybody's different. But anyway, let's move on.
And I hope they do.
Let's move on from that topic because we've got quite a bit to discuss for this episode.
Yeah, that took quite a lot of time and we've got a load to get on with. So, what's the next subject?
The next subject would be... Here we go. This is essentially going to be two subjects.
Hang on, what's that clanking noise? Are you getting your soapbox out?
I'm going to have to.
Okay, right. I am therefore going to not speak much for this bit. Right, Mr. Matt Burns, take a deep breath and let people know...
You may not get much yet, but I'll just explain...
Yeah, take a deep breath.
...the topic, right?
Yeah, what is it that you're just about to go into a massive rant about? Just give people a heads up.
There's two topics of this, which is... I'll mention the first one, which is Elias and Rusev. How they've handled their situation at the moment. And straight after, because of the Rusev topic, that's potentially going to lead to the US Championship.
Crikey, that is quite a heavy topic. So,
right,
with the proviso that I'm here ready to jump in if you need, but I'm expecting you probably don't, Mr. Matt Burns, soapbox ready, fire away.
Rant incoming. Right. My personal view in regards to, I think Elias and Rusev are absolutely phenomenal workers. They know how to get... This is something that I don't get with WWE. They have got two solid workers who are absolutely well over with the crowd. You've got Elias. What does WWE stand for? Walk with Elias. Rusev.
Yeah, and the whole crowd chant it nearly as loudly as they chant Rusev Day.
As I'm saying, what day is it? Rusev Day! And they are over. As soon as the Royal Rumble is done, and I am all up for Jeff Jarrett being on TV. I'm fine with it. Because... as I have seen, and many people may or may have not seen, man, that guy can throw a punch. He
Oh,
knows
yes.
how to, he
Yes,
knows
he
how to
really
throw a
can.
punch. But what I'm finding a hard time with is the fact that you are turning Elias and Rusev. Well, Rusev has had a bit longer than Elias. Now with Elias, it's like, yeah, you've turned face. It might not have worked as good as we expected. That's because you haven't given it time to run its course. You've given him what? Baron Corbin and Bobby Lashley?
And that weird sort of before he turned face, that sort of weird, what the hell were they doing with that with Kevin Owens?
Yeah.
Which, yeah, as noble an effort as that was to try, it didn't really work.
But
I wasn't sure what they were working at with that.
a lot of people are going to be expecting Kevin Owens to come back as a face.
I think that, I don't know. I was going to say, I think that's a given, but that's jumping in with both feet.
Then I think, personally, if they don't with Kevin Owens, you've missed something there, WWE. Again.
Absolutely.
Again.
But anyway, the point being that these two guys, Rusev and
Elias.
Mine's gone blank. Elias, yeah. So you think WWE has ever so slightly jumped the gun with these guys, as they do tend to occasionally do with people?
It's literally, you've not even let them run their course up to WrestleMania.
Which this being the season for the WrestleMania season now, it's officially the road to WrestleMania.
And
you'd think they'd do that a little bit more.
Would them sayings be at WrestleMania be?
Well, in front of 60, 70,000 people chanting. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Right. Now,
with that in mind, this leads on to your second topic, which ever so slightly involves Rusev.
It does a little bit. Now, this is to do with the US Championship. Now,
yes,
I was well happy for Rusev to take the United States Championship from Nakamura.
Yeah, me too.
On Christmas Day. And Rusev.
Yes. Well, obviously.
Great storytelling. Smart.
Fantastic.
Get to the Royal Rumble and you have him drop it. Wow.
Questionable.
What has Rusev done so badly that that's happened? A lot of people are saying, oh, Nakamura's being punished and now he's been rewarded the US title. Now, I know I don't normally do spoilers on here because we don't normally discuss results. That, to me, it's been more than a while now. You've had plenty of time to have a bit of catch up on it, and it's annoying to me because in my brain it's literally going, well, why have you just done that? Why have you just done that? And what makes it even worse, and what makes it even more painful?
Go on.
The US Championship, when was it defended? At Royal Rumble?
Oh, yeah. On the pre-show.
On the pre-show. Now, do you know why I'm about to have almost a mini rant at this?
I have been keeping up a little bit more with main roster WWE since I started doing this again, since I became member of the team on The Burning Truth, where before, I will just defend myself, I did used to watch NXT, but not a great deal else. I started watching Raw and SmackDown a bit more, so yes, I know exactly where this incoming rant is coming from.
You have got Nakamura, who is the US champ, okay, the former US champ, fighting for the championship. Yes, he won it. It looks great. He's on the bloody pre-show. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Who won the Royal Rumble
last year?
Last year.
Now let me just consult my history book here. Japanese guy, S. Nakamura.
Shinsuke Nakamura. So within
Yeah, I know exactly
1 year,
straight from winning the Royal Rumble into the pre-show. Yeah, it's not a good look.
within 1 year, says, have WWE lost faith in him? Well, they couldn't have lost too much faith in him. They give him back the title.
Exactly.
And then SmackDown.
But it does set alarm bells ringing. Oh, and then we get to the heat of this. What happened on SmackDown? Right. Careful on that soapbox because it doesn't look too sturdy. But for those of you that don't know, let's have a little quick rundown of spoiler alert, what happened on SmackDown.
Normally,
which will hopefully illustrate why you're so angry about it.
I normally don't do spoilers for SmackDown or mention or discuss it because if you want to see the results, you've got the websites to go on to, WWE.com and everything. Now, the reason why
is
I'm
fair
upset
enough
in regards to this is the fact that you've got Nakamura who has just regained his US title. It's fine to in regard. I understand that what they're trying to do something shocking and different, and it might even if it's a fuck up, even if it's a mistake, right?
Yeah,
it could have been corrected not long after, right?
It could have, but it
could have.
Wasn't.
It wasn't. They've carried on with it. Even if it is a mistake, they're now carrying on with the narrative. And that is, R-Truth has won the US title from Nakamura.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
Just for those of you, pump the brakes, just for those of you who are sat there, like I was when I first heard the news, thinking, sorry, did you just say R-Truth, as in the guy who last won a main roster match when he was messing around with The Miz about 5 years ago? Holy hell, you did. What's going on there?
Then to top it off, after he wins it, right? Oh, and the whole reason why he's in that match is because of Nia Jax attacking him and putting herself in the men's...
And denying him his position in the men's rumble, yes.
Which he had earned from the mixed match challenge.
Yeah, of course, because that makes sense, doesn't it? What? You didn't get your position in a 30-man over the top rope battle royal. Okay, United States Championship match.
Right.
Because that makes perfect sense.
What makes me laugh even more?
Go on.
This one actually makes me laugh a little bit. This is where a bit of the humour comes into it. A certain...
Go on.
Multiple generation wrestler. He is... Go on.
He is... No, sorry, go on, I'm not sure.
He is the son of Mr. Perfect.
Ah, that one, yeah. One half of the B team.
Yeah. Have you heard his comments?
I have not heard what Michael McGillicuddy had to say, but sorry, Curtis Axel had to say about that.
I know. He literally just goes, he gets a title shot, yet I never got to enter my Rumble match, and I wasn't provided a title match for not entering mine.
Oh, yeah, okay. I can see where he's coming from with that comment.
He has a point.
He has a very valid point, yeah.
He has a point.
He really does.
And it's funny. That's when you know it's bad. When you're getting... It was just silly when you're getting stuff like that. But I like the fact that he's done it. That makes it a little bit more humorous. And more humorous.
That actually does take the edge off the situation a little bit, that he had the knowledge and the wherewithal to be like, okay, this situation needs lightening. Hell, I'm going to lighten it.
let's do it. And he's done it. Now,
Yeah.
in regards to the US title championship, I don't mind a, hot potato in a title, as long as there is a bloody reason for it.
And frankly, a slightly less tenuous reason than somebody not even remotely involved in the original title situation is getting credit for something else totally irrelevant.
However, the only thing that is coming out of this is they might be pairing up Nakamura with Rusev.
Which sort of, odd couple tag teams have worked in the past. It might do well.
It might do well. It's something that WWE have been doing a lot lately, with some success. Notice the word, some success.
Some, yeah.
Not all. But...
not universal success, but some, yeah.
Correct. But we'll have to wait and see how that develops. But personally,
yes,
I feel as though they've just done that in a
reactionary kind of, shit, we've dropped the ball here, right, how can we appease these guys kind of way.
Let's just throw somebody in. Right, great.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Right, deep breath, because don't put the soapbox away just yet.
I'm sliding it across to you already.
Yeah,
because...
yeah, I send it down the phone line to me because I need to wear another groove in it now because there's something that I think you have a fairly strong opinion on as well that is really getting on my nerves.
I actually have a bit of an opposite opinion on it. Would you like to to discuss it yourself? And I can actually argue for it.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. An opposite opinion, like a bit of balance, is no bad thing. But
exactly.
Oh my good Lord above, with the best will in the world, which I'm sure they had, and the best intention in the world, what is Daniel Bryan thinking? What is that green, grey, and brown year 8 art project interpretation of a WWE title? Seriously. What is it? Okay, yeah, it's made of, what is it? Organic sustainable hemp. They make natural dyes in black. Couldn't you have made the damn thing black?
It's potentially hemp and wood. It's because they wanted the cow leather off. Because if I'm not mistaken, he says he wanted to save Bessie.
Yes, absolutely. However, they make this organic hemp stuff and they make artificial dyes which are not made from anything that harms animals in any way in, let's see, blue, because it's a SmackDown colour, white, black, red, which are the WWE corporate colours. Why does it have to be that particular, deliberate, let's make it look shoddy, organic...
It doesn't look shoddy. And
crap
this is...
green. That shade of green...
It's not green. It's more like a brownish, I'd say, more so, and...
Yeah, but whatever those colours, sort of grass green, mud brown, it's supposed to look natural. It just looks cheap.
A lot of people may say it looks cheap. Me, I'm fine with it.
No, here's the thing. I'm fine with the concept.
No, do you know why I'm fine with it?
Go on.
Austin had his own smoking title. The Rock had the Bronze Ball title. Many
I don't have an issue. John Cena had the spinner title, yes. I have no issue whatsoever with a superstar wanting to have his own custom-made title belt. However, it's the way they've done it that's the problem. The greenish-brown colour makes it look like a six-form art project. It also makes it look really cheap and really nasty, and it's not actually... Other than the fact it's environmentally sustainable, it doesn't reflect the champion in any way. It's just a crappy green-brown environmental reworking of exactly the same design. The Brahma Bull title, the Smoking Skull title, John Cena's spinner title, they were completely different from the title that preceded them. All that he's done is made exactly the same belt in a slightly different colour. I have no objection
and different
to
material.
Yeah, I have no objection to superstars having unique titles to them to help them on the way.
True.
But why isn't it a different design? And why doesn't it look like it costs more than $5.99 to make?
It's clever. I actually like it because how upset are you about this right now?
No, I understand.
That's what I'm saying.
They played me like a fool. That's the point.
You are literally ranting and raving about it right now, and it is now a focal point in your mind to the point of you can't stop talking about it.
Oh, no, I fully understand, and I also understand that that's exactly why they've done it. But sometimes, like, things like that, you know, what am I trying to say here? Sort of things designed to provoke conversation for the sake of it, yeah, they're not always good.
It's not always good.
Any conversation, any conversation isn't necessarily good conversation, if you know what I mean.
I believe you're reusing the phrase, any news is good news.
Yeah, well, that seems to be the WWE mantra, but in this occasion, I don't really think it is.
Opinion is a bit different, because I think the fact that they've got you ranting and raving right now in regards to it, I think it goes perfectly with the Daniel Bryan gimmick. The fact that he's literally calling everybody, Fickle! Fickle!
I suppose.
It goes
bearing
with
in mind.
No, but take into account, he is doing this in a massive way, and I think it is massive what WWE have allowed him to do this, because that shows you how much faith they have in regards to this. They can see Daniel Bryan being a massive top heel, and they are running with it, which is
no arguments from me there. As I say, my argument is solely with the design of the things. But then, like you said, that's kind of all part of the plan. And also, do you think, just as a slight aside that is actually related to this, do you think somewhere on the North American indie scene, the artist briefly in NXT known as CJ Parker is crying into his organic tea? Because he could not get that gimmick over for love nor money in NXT.
The problem with with what they did on NXT is they originally considered turning him. They had him face, and the crowd weren't accepting it. So then they turned him heel, and then he got put up against Kevin Owens. Oh.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I think that's all I'm saying is that's basically it's basically the same gimmick. It's just that.
However,
I think the main difference is by the end you could really patently and obviously tell that CJ Parker didn't believe in it anymore, whereas Daniel Bryan,
it's not that he didn't believe it anymore.
Does.
It's not that he didn't believe it anymore. It just wasn't working under WWE. And his thing, he's made a name of him. He's made a bigger name for himself outside of WWE, and he has. He's done a good job of that, and he has. He's done a really good job, and that's nothing to slouch at. He has worked his rear end off for that, and you know,
no, that's absolutely fine.
I hope nothing but the best for him. But like
no,
I said,
me neither. I wasn't trying to bring him down. I was merely using him as a comparison.
But here's the thing. It might not have worked for him, but it's worked for Daniel Bryan. What's so weird is a lot of people say, well, that gimmick doesn't work here. It should never be done. Try it on somebody else. Gimmick, and here's the thing. I think any gimmick can be used on a show as long as with the right person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who knows how to run with it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was going to say as well, do you think, slightly cynical of me this perhaps, but where was the Royal Rumble held? What was the venue called?
Are you on about in Phoenix? It was in Phoenix, Arizona?
Yeah, but it had a strange name. I think it might have been named after the building sponsor or something like that. But anyway, or was it named after the team that played there?
Which one? Which one? Which venue are you referring to? Are you on about the Royal Rumble
The one
itself?
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, that's an aside. It doesn't really matter. The point is, do you think the venue invented that burger solely for Daniel Bryan to rip it to shreds? In the case of, yes, it's cynical marketing, but it's going to make everyone involved some money because everyone's going to want to try it or slag it, depending on whether they're vegan or not, and it's going to make everyone money.
Chase Field you're on about, yeah.
Yes. Do you think that burger was invented, possibly at WWE's request, exclusively for Daniel Bryan to rip it a new metaphorical one?
Possibly, and the good thing about it is, if they were smart, they would be selling that immediately. If they
it was actually a genuine thing that they were genuinely selling on the event of WrestleMania weekend.
I think
but I just wondered if maybe it was all part of the ploy.
The funny thing about it is as much as Daniel Bryan is bringing the attention to it, if people are hating what Bryan is saying, they're going to go there to have it just to annoy him.
Yes, and I think that's what WWE were banking on, which is why I think they had a hand in inventing it.
It's clever.
That's just me. But
it's clever.
Oh, absolutely.
It's very clever. But anyway, we've now got to we've now got to move on because we've got a bit of a big topic to discuss now.
We indeed have. I mean, those were just the preambles. This is the main event.
Now, this is essentially the main event for the broadcast this week, and this is a topic that, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to actually fully push my own views on this because I'm actually running it.
Well, you can report the facts in a non-biased manner, state what's going on, and leave it up to those who are listening to decide to make their own opinions heard.
Correct.
That's not a problem.
And I can discuss about some of the stories, potentially events and everything. And we've got some interesting developments in regards to it because straight off the bat, we are going to be discussing UKWA, UK Wrestling Alliance, first major event
of 2019.
Ever. They have.
Oh no, I'm saying that as though there will be more later in 2019. But this is the one that kicks the year off.
This is the one that kicks the year off. Now, I know some people might say, but didn't you have a show a while ago in Whitchurch? Officially, there was sort of a bit of a show, possible discussion where the King of the King Championship was crowned, but that was also under a other wrestling company, which was EPW. Let me just state this for the record. This is an official UKWA official show run by the owners, with myself being one of them.
I was going to say one of whom is Mr. Matt Burns. I was going to say, I had to bite my tongue then not to say the words pay-per-view at the end of the show.
Correct.
It's not one of them. It's just a show.
And my business partner, Renee Voltaire. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people are asking a lot of questions. I'll be happy to answer any of them if you've got any to send them to me, or to send them to the UKWA social media, or to the UKWA website. both myself and Renee will answer them as soon as we can. But we have been that busy trying to get as much as possibly done for the show.
The purpose of the next 20 minutes or so of which here is for, well, promotion, basically, for you to let everyone know what's happening and hype the show up, I'm guessing.
Pretty much. And that's basically it. I am not going to push my own views, agenda on everybody. I know I've already done this on a previous week where I've already mentioned all the matches.
Yeah, but it won't hurt to run through them again.
It won't hurt to run through them again. Maybe you can either add to the conversation, John, as you're a podcast journalist.
Yeah, and I can say and do whatever the hell I like. Indeed.
Now, we have officially on the show 6 matches. Now, these
6 matches.
6 matches, yeah. We've got 6 matches on it.
Okay.
And the first one, if I'm not doing them in the order that they were revealed in, I'm just doing them in a general, I'm just doing them in the order.
Yeah, this is not necessarily the order they'll appear on the card. This is just the order you think of them. Yeah, that's fine.
If it is the order that actually happens, it's a fluke.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, so match number 1, not necessarily that order on the card.
We have got AJ Hughes' Open Challenge. Now,
we've been through the details of this in previous weeks, but just in case those of you who were listening then may have missed that, remind us exactly what that is.
Now, the Open Challenge has basically been sent in from... Now, the interesting thing is, AJ Hughes was called in almost the same day he won the Fusion Pro Wrestling Grand Championship. Right? And he got officially called in, and when he was called, he was mentioned to cut a promo. John?
As you do when you just won a championship. Yep.
Yeah, and he did. He's saying he's up on the up and everything. Now, what was interesting is in the video, he decided to one up the management.
Yeah, now that is a brave decision to take.
I've heard that they want. I just recently won the Fusion Pro Championship. The Fusion Pro Wrestling Grand Championship. And I'm coming to UKWA with it. He threw down a open challenge to anyone in the locker room.
Which was, that's one of those things that if you do it and you succeed, afterwards it's a masterstroke. But the chances of you succeeding when you can do 0 preparation, or rather you have to prepare for everyone that might be there, it's a risky operation. There's lots of potential for egg to end up on your face.
Correct. He is very confident in his work and as well. And here's the thing. What's interesting is that somebody's been getting involved a little bit by, how do we say on social media, throwing shade at management.
Now that is not something that management or indeed anyone else would endorse, but it happens.
Me being me, I saw this and I thought, pay no attention, rise above it, move on.
Thinking that it wouldn't cause a great deal of controversy and it would hopefully, it would just fade away.
However, it caught the attention of Renee.
Being 50% of the people involved, of course, her attention is quite important.
As well. And she decided to state, you are so confident in her, in AJ, in AJ winning your championship. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they even decided to throw some shade at the King of the Kingdom champion, Luke Basham, during that online stream. Now, the funny thing about it is, I didn't know about this until I think about a day after. I then found out that a additional challenge has been thrown on top. Now,
to make things a little bit more heated than they already were.
Now take this. That open challenge is now been out of my hands.
Is that so? Blimey.
I've had Renee demand it off my hands personally. And
wow. Okay.
There's not many times when I've heard Renee demand for something, and I'm not going to argue.
You're in a situation where, okay, you feel that strongly? Go ahead. No complaints from me.
No complaints, as long as it's above board and it doesn't cause any issues. What I did find interesting is she's managed to up the ante and even offered a rewarding chance not only to AJ Hughes but to his compadres,
whoever it may,
to his compadres, Anarchy. Now,
I see.
The thing is, Anarchy have been creating hell at Fusion Pro Wrestling. I ought to know. I've actually encountered them myself. Now, take this into account. When I found out it was Anarchy, after I had passed it over to Renee, I was in absolute shock. Because that is a group I'm actually glad that Renee's dealing with it.
I see, because it makes life easier for you, absolutely.
It makes life easier, and here's the thing. Renee is actually, as much as she might be fired up in regards to some of the, stating that Anarchy stated that they're going to come to UKWA to burn it. Let's see you attempt it. And here's the thing.
Let's see you try.
And here's the thing. I haven't picked this. You brought this on yourself, boys. Make sure you are prepared. And if you come out of it, and if you come out of it successful, I will oblige the conditions that Renee has agreed to yourselves, which I will state what they are right now. If AJ Hughes loses the championship, if he loses the match, he is losing the Fusion Pro Wrestling Championship, and most likely Anarchy will be barred from any UKWA event permanently,
big
except
odds.
For AJ Hughes himself, who has got a contract, well, not in a contract, is on the UKWA roster.
So basically, it will disallow him using his crew to gain any further unfair advantages in the future.
Right. Now, straight away there, he'll be by himself, he will have lost the title, and he'll be by himself. And I'm pretty sure with the fact that he's upset management, might not bode well.
Yeah.
But,
indeed,
on the flip side, if he wins, he gets to keep his Fusion Pro Wrestling Championship, and he gets every single member of Anarchy on the UKWA roster.
Which absolutely, well, that's win-win for him, but could cause lots of potential future headaches for the management. So, however, fair's fair.
Fair's fair.
If he can win...
I am being objectively...
Am I reading this correctly? If he can win entirely on his own, then he's allowed to have his guys in future, but they're not allowed to interfere on the night. Am I correct?
It's it's got to follow within the rules of the match, and take into account, I don't even know who Renee has lined up for him. So
I see.
I will be honest right now. I'm actually scared for them.
Yes. I can kind of understand why, to be honest.
I am actually scared of them, and take into account, I will just point this out, I will be dealing with Anarchy personally the week after.
Crikey.
Myself at Fusion Pro Wrestling's Grand Rumble in a six-man tag team match myself. So I'm no stranger to them, but
I see.
I am actually scared what Renee might actually have in store for AJ Hughes. I actually question, is he even going to be ready for the following week?
Well, that is the million-dollar question.
That it is, and as always,
So,
in regards to any of the matches that we are discussing, there's only one way to find out, and that's either by being there, or we might be dropping a special announcement for that involves potentially a certain online streaming service. Not
and
saying
that
it
will
is,
come between now and the start of the show.
and that will be that announcement will be happening most likely after the event has actually occurred. But that will be actually on potentially either on the social media, or I could even get an exclusive on the actual broadcast as well. But we'll have to wait and see until after the event in regards to that. But it is one you don't want to be missing at all. If you can get tickets, you will want to see all these matches. But that's just match one so far.
So just to recap, just for those who aren't properly paying attention, match one at Zero Out will be AJ Hughes issuing an open challenge for his championship.
The Fusion Pro Wrestling Grand Championship.
The very same. For which, if he wins by getting pinfall or submission and doing it so above board, in future shows, he will be allowed to have his entire entourage
of
Anarchy with him at ringside.
Oh, no.
But if he
on
loses...
On the roster.
And therefore, as such things go, probably working with him fairly closely. However, if he loses, not only will he lose the title, but he forfeits the right to have Anarchy at any future shows.
Permanently. They are banned.
Yeah. So, pretty high stakes there. And that's just match one.
Correct.
Wow. Right. While that sinks in to those at home, let's move on. What is match two?
Match two is Paul Malin versus Big Rich. Now, a lot of people may recognise Paul Malin's name. Malicious Paul Malin, the malicious one. A lot of people might say, he's been in some cases he's a lovable hero. In other places, he's a dastardly villain. But he is somebody who is somebody a lot of wrestlers who may know Paul Malin. I know him myself. Now, his current attitude at the moment, I'm not a fan favourite of myself. Renee is.
No.
Renee is, but the interesting part is this match came about when management, myself and Renee, were having a friendly chat with Big Rich.
Yep.
And we asked him, who would he like to fight?
And I'm guessing there was all of about 0.1 seconds hesitation before he answered.
It's the quickest. It was... To put it in a simple way, it was said quite quickly and without hesitation.
And with 100% conviction.
Pretty much. Now, here's the thing. we were asking about it, and what was so interesting is, Big Rich was saying he knows that Paul Malin knows the reason why, and he wants Paul Malin to explain to many wrestling fans around the UK why his demeanour has been the way it has been. He wants
answers, basically.
He wants answers. He wants an apology, because I think for Big Rich, he's actually going to go up against somebody who he might actually idolise. Might have looked up to, and this might have actually changed his outlook in regards to it. Now, Paul Malin is potentially looking at this as next challenger.
Yeah, quite understandably. Malin has accepted the challenge, but has stated no apology will be forthcoming.
Pretty much, and had stated he will go through this challenge by any means necessary.
Ooh. So, an open challenge followed by what is essentially a grudge match. I say followed by because we mentioned it next. Won't necessarily follow it on the card. But.
It's weird. It's weird because these pair have never been in the ring against each other.
Yeah.
It's never been done before. So it's unique because Paul Malin is an established name where I think, at the same time, Malin could be looking at this as, is Big Rich trying to make a name for himself using, trying to come up on him?
And he is quite right to think like that, because absolutely he will if he succeeds in beating Malin.
Possibly, but we'll have to wait and see to find out more on that as it develops. Now,
indeed.
Next match is Nightshade versus Chantal Jordan. Now,
okay.
Chantal Jordan is somebody I will put up my hand up and say I wouldn't mess with.
I'm going to have to say that makes 100% of the Burning Truth who would definitely not mess with.
She has the nickname baddest girl on the planet, and there's a damn good reason for it. However, if you actually get to know her personally, she is a lovely person. Just don't cross her. Just don't
give her a reason to want to fight you, because it might be the last thing you ever do.
And the weird thing about it is, we've got Nightshade, who this is almost a bit similar, but at the same time, I think Nightshade has got more respect for Chantal Jordan, and knows that she is in for a fight and is ready for it. This is one that is, Nightshade is massively on the rise, doing really well, earning herself multiple women's championship in multiple different companies. Just for example, she, PCW, Wolfram Pro Wrestling. She's been former, women's champion in multiple other companies. I think it was DOA as well. And she has done well for herself. Now, with Chantal Jordan, she's on the rise. She hasn't won herself a championship as of yet, but she is literally, kicking down doors right now.
Yes. So, it seems to me that makes this the perfect match for both.
And this is something that is interesting, because this is pretty much going to be, it's almost like, you got somebody on the rise who wants to come up to the top, but is she going to try to jump onto Nightshade, using Nightshade's name, or is Nightshade also going to be showing that I am still the top dog?
Well, this is all to play for. This is what makes the match so intriguing. Absolutely
correct, and it's something that I believe that it's definitely one. I am going to try to get my, as much as I am going to be busy on that show myself, I am going to be wanting to get my eyes on a screen if I can, with a clean visual, to see that match.
You're going to actually just want to not be disturbed for 20, 25 minutes while this match goes down.
To be honest
and with
with
good
you,
cause.
if I'm honest with you, I'd love to be able to just be able to watch this event myself. It's that good. It is absolutely that good.
Yeah. I completely understand because we've only got halfway through the card and you've got me hooked. I'm buying a ticket.
Exactly. It's one of them. Each match has been mouth-watering. It's brilliant and is absolutely dynamic. Now
it is. We're a little bit pushed for time, so let's crack straight on with match number 4.
Match 4 is this match has got the most, most competitors in. This is a
multi-man match.
Unique match. This is a triple threat tag team match.
So 3 tag teams, so 6 people in total. Blimey.
And will be elimination style.
Ooh, now they're always fun. Because once the first pinfall goes down, that means nothing. Nothing's decided. It just means that you've still got another team gunning for you.
Correct. And the scary thing about this is this could potentially even have all chaoses in, all competitors involved. And that's not...
We like a potential melee.
Correct, and that's not all. It is for a title.
Ooh, as if it wasn't enough of a draw already. It's for which title?
And it's not one from the UK.
Ooh.
This is for the Italian Championship Wrestling, the Italian Tag Team Championship, which the current holders are Connors and Black. Where have I heard that name before? Didn't I dub them ones to watch on within, TBT Awards, the most recent one? I did.
I do believe you did.
I did. They are the current champions.
And with very good cause, I might add.
Correct. They are the current champions, and but here's the thing: this match has come about because they argue that they are the best tag team, but then 2 other tag teams have also thrown their name in the hat, and they're all fighting to see who is the best tag team champion, who is the best tag team on the UKWA roster, and then to increase the odds, Connors and Black have thrown and literally put on and spoken to the to Italian Championship Wrestling and got their permission to defend them. And here's the thing.
Ooh. Yeah, I know what you're thinking right now.
Who are they against?
Who the heck could they be against? Because obviously it's going to be a mouth-watering match, but just how many degrees of mouth-watering are we talking here? So, Matt Burns, put us out of misery. Who is it?
The first team to go against them is known as Violence and Volume. Now, this is a team that I've actually been in the ring with one of them personally, and my jaw is still sore from them actually.
Come on, the match was months ago. He hits that hard?
I thought he dislocated my jaw.
Crikey.
That would be the almighty Bjorn and his tag team partner, Loudmouth Davey Thompson.
Yeah. These two... Oh, blimey, these two are enough of a challenge already for the Italian Tag Team Champions, and you're telling me there's another team involved? Good Lord.
And
have we got insurance on the building for this?
Yes, we have.
Brother?
Yes, we have. We have insurance.
Good.
Trust me, I covered it.
It sounds like you need it, because that's one hell of a match already, and yet you haven't even announced the third team yet.
We have monsters.
We have what?
We have monsters. We have a tag. We have a tag team in Hellbound, which is Alton Thorne and Barricade.
Good Lord. Is the ring going to be able to hold all 6 of these guys?
Take into account, and no slouch, both members of Hellbound have been able to throw me around like a rag doll.
Yes. That is, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Burns, if you ever met him, as you will know, is A, no slouch, and B, no small gentleman.
I'm
but
not exactly small. Yes, I might have slimmed down and lost some weight. I will say that. But still, Hellbound are a vicious tag team, and they seem to be on a vicious rampage as much, they seem to be actually kicking ass, taking names. If they see you as a target, run.
Sounds like a sensible course of operation, to be honest. Yeah.
So straight away, you've got them 2 tag teams against Connors and Black, and Connors and Black are literally putting the tag team titles on against them. It's all up for grabs. Who is going to win? It
certainly is. Blimey. This just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I almost don't want to ask what the 5th match is, because I don't know how much bigger things can get.
Now, this one's a bit of an interesting one. Now, Eddie Martins versus Dante Durden. A lot of people will say, what is their beef? You ready for this? Both of them actually trained at the same school, which is House of Pain, which I will predominantly state they have both been trained massively by the heavyweight House of Pain Sticks, who I absolutely think he's an absolutely amazing worker, amazing wrestler, amazing trainer, and he's actually had a hand involved in this, as well as Paul Malin has. Now,
blimey.
The interesting thing is, Eddie Martins has built his craft and worked his hardest. Now, Dante's done it the same, but it's almost like the recent, we're just saying about the whole demeanour with Paul Malin. Now, Paul Malin has he's picked his side to go with more so with Dante. Now, Eddie has got Sticks on his side, straight away no slouch there, and Sticks is, in regards to this match, Sticks has full capability, knowing that he knows that Eddie Martins has done his damnedest, worked his butt off, worked his craft off as much as possible to be ready for this match, and this is going to be. It's almost like a bit of the yin and yang, if you get what I mean.
I do. I know exactly what you mean.
It's very real. You got one person who's almost, he's following the rules, he's doing everything right, he's following the guidelines, and I will might add, greatly as he has been. Where Dante seems to be almost on the same path as, almost the same mentality as Malin. A bit of a twisted view of the world. And the question is, which one of them is going to be right?
Well, what you're basically saying is, it's a collision course. It's going to be fireworks, finding out who's on the right path.
Who was right, who was wrong? Only way to find out is by being there.
Indeed. Wow, blimey. If that wasn't enough, that's not all, folks. There is one more match.
Yeah, one more match, which is the main event. And this one's a biggie, which is for the King of the Kingdom Championship match. Now, I have to personally congratulate Luke Basham on his current reign as King of the Kingdom champion.
Of course you do.
He is the current longest reigning King of the Kingdom champion.
Who has held the title for how long?
He has held it for I haven't, unfortunately, as much as I haven't got the information in front of me right now,
No, that's cool, but long enough to know. We can always mention that in light of the show next week when we find out whether or not his defence was successful.
I believe I can actually just get the dates up now for you. If you,
okay, that's cool.
In regards to it, but it's no slouch. In regards to it.
No, I'm not questioning that. I'm absolutely not questioning that. Right, I'll definitely talk to you guys while Mr. Matt Burns looks up the information. Just a reminder, this show does take place this coming Saturday. If anything we've said has piqued your interest, you can get tickets from the UKWA website. And
would you like to know?
Yep, go on.
217 days.
That is quite impressive, I must say.
217 days. In
light of the obvious competition, that is going some. But it will probably be in quite serious jeopardy.
It is.
I've completely gone blank. Have you mentioned who he's fighting yet?
I haven't mentioned it. At the current stance, if he is successful on that night, he will be at 223. If he isn't, it should be 220. I believe 222. And here's the thing: for half the time that he has been the King of the Kingdom champion, this person who is going up against him has been trying to challenge Luke Basham for this championship almost non-stop for half the time he has held the title, which is...
So the fact that he's now got his opportunity means this is going to be a good old JR style slobber knocker.
Pretty much. And this is somebody who is no small slouch. I know him personally. He has caused me many headaches. He has also been a guest on The Burning Truth.
Good Lord, it's not me, is it?
He is Charles Kelsey.
Phew. It's someone competent. It's someone who's going to take it to the champ and give him one hell of a match. And it's not me. Everybody wins.
Here's the scary thing. This match could have actually happened sooner. However, unfortunately, it didn't happen because Luke Basham ended up having a severe broken collar. And it ended up getting postponed. But Basham ended up speaking to management, reassuring us that he would be ready for the show. Because originally he was meant to be defending it sooner. However, management decided to state as it was going to be defended at another show, and it ended up being that rules had to be changed and agreements had to be changed as well. It was decided that if Basham was unfit to defend it by our first event, he would have been stripped of the title. That is not the case, and we are proud that he has fought back. Not only has he fought back, he has come back with many, many victories as such. If I'm not mistaken, I even saw Luke Basham last night at Academy Pro Wrestling, which, if I'm not mistaken, he was in a Fatal 4-Way match, which had Jimmy Vice, Liam Perrin, and Callie Six, one half of the South Coast Connection, who has wrestled in Japan.
I'm telling you, he's only got. Wow, you're hedging your bets there. He's only got just shy of a week to recover from that. Blimey!
But at the same time, Kelsey's also been having hard-fought battles at FCW against the likes of Connors and Black, and of course, Jimmy Vice as well. in six
Oh,
six man
that's
tag.
okay
So
then. That evens the score
so
out.
it has
If
been
both
fairly
guys.
even Stevens back and forth, but he also, I believe that Basham is no slouch whatsoever, and he has been, he is ready for this match, and he's in his mind. I actually spoke to him yesterday, and in his mind, he says for all the time that Kelsey is shouting, he's the winner, he is the winner. He ain't gonna be the winner, and here's the point: the last time that them pair faced each other, Basham beat him.
That's got to be in the back of Kelsey's mind, although he can't let it affect him.
So Basham's already proven
Going to be there.
he can beat him. He can beat him, but Kelsey is very upset with Basham.
Well, you will feel he will undoubtedly feel he's got twice as much of a point to prove
almost
now.
on a personal level, because technically in a way Basham was almost in a way the one who ended up having to put a suggestion in, because he had the right to for any match to basically try and help CJ Connors get a match at FCW, or to get a contract at FCW. Now,
I see.
what was so interesting is, originally the challenge was Kelsey versus Connors. Loser has to leave, winner gets to stay at FCW. Now, however, on Kelsey's side, he had his manager, Neil Edmonds, instead put his contract in line instead up for grabs instead of Kelsey's.
Wow, that is
He had
quite
that much
some
faith.
confidence.
And here's the thing: Kelsey looked up to Neil in a massive way.
Wow.
And unfortunately, on that night, CJ Connors beat Kelsey, and as there was cheating being involved, I believe Basham was there to even up the odds. And Kelsey is now taking it as a personal grudge. And if I'm not mistaken, Kelsey even went on record to state, "You've taken something personal and precious away from me. I am going to take the one thing that is everything to you, and that is the King of the Kingdom Championship."
Wow. The stage is set then for one hell of a show. Lots of grudges, lots of epic matches. I've only got one question, really.
What's that?
Are you going to be there?
Of course
I don't
I'm
mean
going to be
you,
there.
Matt Burns. I mean metaphorically, the Burning Truth listeners. In order for them to do so, I think we need to go over the one rather vital point we've yet to mention, which is exactly when and where the show is, and how they can get tickets.
Right. The interesting thing about it is, if anybody's interested in attending to UKWA Presents 0 Hour, they can literally... It's on 9th of February 2019, which is this coming Saturday. Doors open at 6 p.m, bell time at 6:30. And in case anybody wants to know where it's at Wilson Hall, the Furlongs, Coley Gate, Hales Owen, postcode B632BU.
Awesome.
In case anybody wants any prices on tickets, £8 for general, £10 for VIP, which is very limited, and they have been selling, I must add.
If you want them, move quickly, because they have been selling, please, and they may sell out.
They have been selling, and they've also got a group of 4, which is general tickets only, group of 4 for £25. And the VIP ones, I forgot to mention, are £10 each. So I'll repeat it again. Prices are £8 general, £10 VIP, and £25 for a group of 4. And also in the VIP, it'll also I believe we also got a meet and greet involved with it for after the show as well.
And that is for this weekend, this Saturday.
Doors
UKWA 0 hour. Doors open at 6 p.m.
And bell time is at 6:30 p.m. And
one more time, where it is.
Where is it at? Wilson Hall, The Furlongs, Colleygate, Halesowen, B632BU. And if you are looking to book your place to get your place sealed, signed, sealed, and delivered, to get your tickets, you can either by calling our hotline, which is 079 484 01307, and I'll say the number again.
One more time, just for the record.
Call 079 484 01307, or you can actually purchase your tickets at www.ukwrestlingalliance.com.
I would recommend that option, although either is just as viable. It depends whether you're a modern internet type or whether you prefer the old-fashioned way on the phone. Either way, if your interest has been piqued and you want to go, book quickly because tickets are selling fast.
However, also as well, tickets will be sold on the door entry as well. Just to state.
Awesome.
And that will be I believe that will be a wrap up for this week, I believe, in regards to the news. But one thing I will state is, next week we'll be most likely possibly discussing in regards to the results potentially of this event.
From 0 hour.
Of 0 hour. Possibly bringing in any additional topics on top of that as well, in regards to the main scene of wrestling as a whole.
The wider world of wrestling in general, indeed. But that wraps things up for tonight, pretty much.
It does.
All apart from... Have you got some plugs?
I believe I've got my usual plugs, which I'll literally go through them quickly right now, as I've always. We've got... Well, just before I jump onto my plugs, onto the official Burning Truth plugs, have you got any plugs yourself?
Yes, on the tip of my tongue, there's this wrestling show next weekend that I think everyone should go to. It's on the outskirts of Birmingham. I think it's called 0 Hour. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to go down that road.
We're not going to go down that. I think we've plugged that enough. But anyway, as I've always...
No, one of these weeks I will have something to plug, but for the time being, no, I am just going to let you get on with doing the show once.
Oh, and I will mention one more plug for 0 Hour. Please, and this is interesting, the reason why I say this, because this goes with the plugs, please check out the UKWA UK Wrestling Alliance social media, because officially on Facebook,
please do.
There is an actual competition on there where you can win 2 free general tickets on there. For all details, please go to the UKWA UK Wrestling Alliance Facebook page to see all the exclusive details in regards to that. But as always, please always check your local wrestling shows, because they always have such great deals like that. Just for example, some of the local wrestling shows that will be on is, of course, UK Wrestling Alliance, UK, also known as UKWA, United Wrestling, Academy Pro Wrestling, Future Championship Wrestling, Fusion Pro Wrestling for You, and many, many more. And of course, let's get down to the official plugs, which is UKWM, also known as UK Wrestling Media. Do absolute fantastic photography, great video work, and all round general great guys on there. Please also check out Manchester Pro Wrestling Academy if you are interested in becoming the next rising star on the UK scene. Which, if I'm not mistaken, beginner classes are on Monday, £10 per class, between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. For actual location details, please check out Manchester Pro Wrestling Academy on their social media, on Facebook, and I believe they're also on Twitter and also Instagram. I need to keep going, and please check out JG Printing and Stitching. The guy does absolute fantastic work. You're welcome, Jamie Gilbert. I will continue to plug JG Printing and Stitching, because they do absolutely amazing work. Please also check out
fantastic.
Please also check out websites such as Mind and Changes UK, which, if I'm not mistaken, is www.changes.org.uk. That's for the Changes website, which is for health and well-being. And also, please check out the Mind charity as well, because the information on their websites, on both websites, can actually prove useful and could actually end up, the information on there is powerful, because it can end up changing your life or possibly helping you to change somebody else's. You never know. Please check out Team 4-Star. Of course, always do, especially with the Dragon Ball Z Bridge series. Please check out bands such as The New Breed, Kamens, and of course, please always check out Botchamania. You're welcome, Matthew. And of course, on YouTube, please check out Philip DeFranco. Always got some interesting stories to tell, especially with news, current events, and if I'm not mistaken, he does 2 pieces of news Monday to Thursday, and then has his roundup show on the Friday where he has the conversation with any comments that have been put on his videos in regards to his news. Please check out Luke Moto, who has been doing some daily vlogging, and if I'm not mistaken, he's even done a vlog where he's been roasted, because he actually he actually asked people on Reddit to roast him. You kinda asked for that one. Oh dear. Please also check out When Fandom Strikes on YouTube. Amazing singer, absolutely brilliant. But the interesting thing is how I came across her content, which is from TikTok, especially with some of the content that she has actually been doing on there as well. Absolutely brilliant. And please check out Turnbuckle TV, where you can get some wrestling. It's almost like the WWE Network, but for British wrestling. Turnbuckle TV. Please check them out. They have got some great wrestling shows coming up, and some already on there. So if anybody's interested in some British wrestling and paying a subscription and getting access to multiple companies, please give them a check out. And of course, the last shout out has to go to The Burning Truth, of course, which is the website, which is www.theburningtruthuk.com, where it could be actually where you're listening to us right now, live. And of course, where you could be listening to past broadcast interviews, show reviews, and of course merchandise. And it is where I'm possibly going to be trying to aim to do a blog. Of course, I know I keep bringing it up, but let's move on. Can't continue on. It's also where you can get, as I mentioned earlier, with the merchandise, you can also get some snazzy t-shirts and office mugs that make great great gifts and everything. Fantastic. And we've also got the contact page where you can get in touch with ourselves as well directly. That's another form as well. And any links that we have actually mentioned, well, not all the links, but most of the links that we've already mentioned are on there. But please, let's just state this. Any links that you do click on, if you do see any inappropriate content that you may find unsuitable for yourself or anybody else, please just state that is not my view, not John's view, not the Burning Truth view, as we are not held responsible for them websites at all. And of course, please check out all of our social media, which is Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and of course Twitter, which the Twitter handle for us is a little bit different, which is, I'll spell it out for you, which is WRESLING 4THWALL. And please check us out on social media, and of course we're also on Spotify. And there we go. There's me.
Deep breath. Right, you've done fantastic. All right, I think that pretty much wraps everything up for this week.
That will be a wrap up for this week. We will be I'm hoping to be live next week, but I can't guarantee it. Let me just state this: if we are not live next week, that is due to a massively busy schedule, and we will apologise for that. Especially one being the fact that I will be running UK Ways 0 hour. And of course, if I've got a busy Sunday, I've got no alternative days to fit potentially in. If I can, it will most likely be a pre-recorded episode, either myself or both myself and John. Which I'm, fingers crossed, I'm able to get that.
Let's hope so. Let's keep those fingers crossed.
That's fingers crossed. Hopefully, or we could be actually live, which is what we are going to be aiming for. But with that, please, everyone, stay well, stay safe, be good. We will hopefully catch you next week. And as always, please, check out your local wrestling. Until then.
Thank you, and good night.
And until then, we'll catch you next week.